maybe it's for like people who are lost and like don't know what they're gonna do with their life. It's like art history and sociology are like the 2 degrees where people are like, I don't know, this seems cool.
Hey, so today I'm here with Cyril Hahn, music producer, has traveled the world, done so many amazing remixes and your own songs. You kind of were into like punk music inspired by your older brother, like in your childhood?
Yeah, that's true, yeah. So I grew up with like punk and hardcore.
Yeah.
And just went to a lot of like really small DIY shows in like squats all over Switzerland.
Yeah.
Because it's such a small country, you always had to travel to a different city to see a band because they'd only have like one stop on their tour in Switzerland. So I was just constantly like taking the train with my brother on the weekend and just see bands and then like sleeping in the squats because like people are always so friendly. They'd be like, yeah, you can crash here.
Oh wow.
It was a very like, I don't know, inclusive community for sure.
Your parents have always been really open with like doing music and stuff, right?
Yeah.
A lot of different types of music.
Yeah, for sure. They were both like interested in a lot of different genres, but they never like, you know, pushed me to be like a music prodigy. Like I was not very good at playing instruments. Like they always encouraged me to take lessons, but I wasn't like great at anything I did. Like I played guitar and I played piano, but you know, I was very mediocre at those, but they definitely helped me with what I do now, obviously.
How do you think you got like how you do music now if you weren't like so good at instruments back then?
I would probably just be a lot more sample based, like sample records. I think that's usually what people do if they don't really have a like theoretical background. It's more like sample based, which is obviously really cool as well.
And you did like folk music.
Totally.
And that was inspired by like yourself or your parents?
No, by myself. Yeah, I was into like Bonnie, Prince, Billy, and like Red House Painters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I read that like Bonnie, Prince, and Billy was like your number one musical inspiration because you were
totally.
like 95% was like emotional music and stuff. Who like showed you his work?
I probably just found it through like blogs. You know, I was just always somebody who would try and find new music like constantly.
Yeah.
Which I think is important for what I do now still. So I've just always been on the lookout, I guess. But I can't remember exactly how I discovered him.
How were you like you described yourself back then growing up?
Pretty awkward, but still pretty comfortable with myself. In Switzerland, I don't know, I'd always watch like movies about North America and like high school seemed like so crazy and like
I know,
so much like so much bullying, and I was like, whoa, that can't be real. That must be like a Hollywood construct, because like in Switzerland, like everybody was super nice to each other in my high school. Everybody got along. There was no drama and there was no like bullying. But then I came to Canada when I was 19 and I talked to people about their experience in high school, and I was like, whoa, that's what it's like.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
So you moved to like Vancouver for school, right?
Yeah, when I was 19. I was just gonna go for a year initially, but then I just really liked the city, and now I'm still there 10 years later.
The art history that you were like studying for like a little bit?
I'm almost done my degree.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So you're still like at it?
No, I just like, I dropped out in like my third year.
Oh.
Or like at the end of my third year, because that's when like my music picked up, and I was just like, I can't really do both. And I don't think this degree will like help me towards, like, you know, so I just sort of dropped it, and you know, maybe I'll finish it at some point, just out of interest. It's not the most like, these days like humanities degrees are not the most useful anymore. I mean, it's hard to find a job with like an arts bachelor, right? So I'm not too sad about leaving that behind.
What kind of inspired you to do like art history itself?
I mean, I was always super interested in history, but it was always very dry, you know, you just read books, and I loved the combination of art, like learning about history through art just seemed like such a great idea. I took a few classes, and I found it really easy to study for it, you know, because I was just really interested, so yeah, I kind of went for it, but I didn't really know what I'll do with it when I'm done, you know. I was just like, hopefully I won't be living on the street. We'll see. Maybe I'll find a job.
Is that kind of a common like major to take where you're from? Because I feel like for me growing up in Hong Kong, I wouldn't even think of like the possibility of doing like art history.
Maybe it's for like people who are lost and like don't know what they're gonna do with their life. It's like art history and sociology are like the 2 degrees where people are like, I don't know, this seems cool.
Your parents do like creative stuff full time, or like what do they do?
No, my mom was like a social worker and a therapist. My dad is a psychiatrist. So a pretty interesting family to grow up in.
And your brother?
He is also a psychiatrist. Yeah.
It's just the 2 of you, right? Or
Yeah. So I'm the odd one out for sure.
So when you moved to Vancouver, did you have like any siblings there, or like why?
No, it was just I wanted
siblings like family members.
Right. I just wanted to go somewhere English speaking for a bit. Because my English wasn't like, how it is now. I'd been to the UK a lot growing up in Switzerland because it was so close.
Yeah.
And I didn't really want to go to the States, and I didn't really have any interest in Australia or New Zealand at that point in my life. So Canada just seemed like an interesting place, and I didn't really know anything about it. So I was like, Vancouver is by the ocean, it has mountains, seems nice. So I just went for it.
So you were doing music for a bit, then stopped, and then continued back.
Yeah.
And then kind of just had your music explode. Everyone started listening to it.
Yeah.
At what point did you realize you could actually like make a career and start investing like all your time into it?
Right. I think it took me a couple of months. I was definitely in like denial because it just seemed like too good to be true, and I was just very hesitant about doing that move. I'd like grown up with people like trying to be in bands, and like they never make any money. So to me, like being a musician didn't really seem like a safe choice. I don't know. I was like, it just seems like this dream that nobody really achieves. I didn't really have any friends that made it. It took me a long time and a lot of convincing from like other people who were like, no, you can definitely, be okay. So I think it took like half a year maybe.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I dropped out of school and started playing shows.
Do you have some sort of mentor when you're first starting to like guide you?
Nobody like in specific. I would just sort of reach out to people, even people I didn't know, but like people whose music I knew. I would just like hit them up on like Facebook or SoundCloud and be like, hey, like I know you kind of went through this. How was it for you? Do I need a manager? Do I need a booking agency? Like how does it all work? Because I had no idea.
So you've been doing like more and more like remixes for other people and also your own music. And you're starting to do like, is it like soundtrack music for like a feature film?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's been an amazing experience. It's something I've always wanted to do. Spring, early summer, pardon me. That's when I started working on that. And it was probably like my favorite type of work that I've done so far in terms of music.
Oh, wow.
Because just having that visual component.
Yeah, that's so
it was
true.
it seemed like perfect for me, So I definitely want to do more of that because it's just such a nice outlet, and it's like completely different from playing shows or writing music for myself, because you have to like make the director happy, so you're like work towards something that's still your own, but you also have to like meet certain criteria.
Yeah.
So you have really interesting like parameters and limitations to work with, which I think results in like something really interesting usually.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. How did you like get into that? Like
it was really lucky. It was the director just hit us up directly, like she had me in mind for the soundtrack.
So you want to do more and more of that, like still do your own music and also
Definitely, yeah.
do you see yourself like somehow becoming more of like a full-time, like just doing like feature soundtracks, or not that?
Not like full-time, yeah. Maybe when I'm like older, it would be nice. I don't know if I want to like tour when I'm like 50 or 60, But for now, like I like having the balance of like writing for myself, being on tour every now and then, which is just like amazing. Like I get to be here, which is crazy.
Yeah, so speaking of which, so when was your first time in Asia?
2 summers ago in Japan. Being able to play there was just like amazing.
And then here, so you're here for like, it it's the end of your tour. You're here for like 3 days in Hong Kong.
That's right,
You
yeah.
like look up things to do.
It's like, I like walking when I can, even though it's like so warm, and I'm
Oh my
just
God, you
like,
guys have no idea what
you know, I like just going to a neighborhood and then kind of walking around and taking photos. But we've definitely talked to like friends who've given us a lot of recommendations, and
Yeah.
I just want to eat a lot of food. So far it's been so tasty, so just want to
So
keep doing
true.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually this area that you chose, like One area, it actually used to be like a red light district.
Oh, no
like
way.
back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And then now it's kind of like residential, and there are a lot of like galleries and stuff, so I feel
Right.
like it's cooler. I don't know if you've like been like, maybe during the day yesterday there was like galleries open.
Yeah,
but
definitely, yeah.
And for the end of the year, you have your own music coming up, or like what's ahead?
This year has been really about like sort of finding a balance, because all I've been doing was just like write for myself, tour over and over. So this year I really just wanted to do some other things
Yeah.
and have different outlets. And I'm also starting some new like side projects
Oh, that's so cool.
that I won't really tell people about,
Yeah.
just so I have something where like I can start from scratch and just
Yeah.
like write whatever I want with like a free mind. So that's really exciting. But then I'll see for my own stuff. Definitely want to get back to it. But I'm still figuring out what type of direction I want to go with that.
Yeah, that sounds so exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.